Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through this rather wonderful Faber Books postcard set. Now this set has got 100 classic Faber Book jackets in postcard form, and it's from their vast and extensive archive, and there's some absolutely beautiful books for us to have a look at today. So that will be the subject of today's video, so sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so let's have a look at this Faber Books postcard box set. So as you can see, it's quite a hefty little tome. A selection of classic book covers from the Faber archive. And there's a little, like a teaser of the 100 covers that are in there. And similar to the Penguin one that we did a couple of weeks back, this one also comes in an almost identical sort of box set with a little tab there for you to get your postcards out. So let's just tip them out there, like so. And we'll have a look through these 100 postcards taken from the classic Faber Books archive. So the first one we've got is When by James Blish. And sometimes, yes, this one says When, 1971, jacket by Shirley Tucker. That one. Obviously some of these are a bit more iconic than others, aren't they? Radio, Rudolf Arnheim, 1936. I'm not quite sure how old Faber are, but they're around, I think the 30s is when they started. Beer Making for All, I see. 1967, doesn't give a designer on that one. The Scruff Rafferty Dog Stories, Roy Johnston. 1962, The Jacket by Alistair Grant. Pattern Under the Plough. That's an early one, isn't it? 1967, jacket designed by Burt Holdwalp, illustration by David Gentleman. Oh, we've heard of him, haven't we? Oh, this is one I wouldn't mind myself in. Nice first edition. It's the first of The Great Escape. Paul Brickhill. Burt Holdwalp again, 1954, that one. Great escape story. Bookman's Holiday, a recreation for book lovers. Designed by Holbrook Jackson. Well, maybe I should be going on that. A Bookman's Holiday, 1945. Tales of Troy and Greece, Andrew Lang. Yes, 1962, The Jacket by Edward Baldwin, one of my favourite designers and artists. I've got a few Edward Baldwin books in my collection. He did a few bits for Penguin as well, which are really, really nice. Seamus Heaney, Door into the Dark. 1972, Burt Holdwalp again. Anthony Burgess, all his hardbacks were published by Faber. Here Comes Everybody. I wonder if they'll show the first of Clockwork Orange. That was 1965, that particular one. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Philip Larkin, A Girl in Winter. Margaret Welp, 1947, that one. Then Justine, one of the quartet by Lawrence Durrell. Once again, Burt Holdwalp. I didn't realise he did so many. P.D. James, this is one of her early-ish ones, isn't it? Great crime author. 1967, jacket by Shirley Tucker, that one. William Golding, Pincher Martin. All his books were published by Faber. Really, really nice jacket, that one. 1956 for Pincher Martin. Jacket designed by Anthony Gross. I guess this is one of his, well, probably his most famous work, Lord of the Flies. Looks like the same artist, yeah, 1954. Anthony Gross again. Ambrose Heath, Good Drinks. This one's a Baldwin, I believe. Yeah, 1939. That was recently, well, I say recently, within the last 5 or 6 years, I believe it was reissued, that one, in a facsimile. Memoirs of an Infantry Officer, Siegfried Sassoon. 1931, jacket by Barnett Friedman. Dragons and a Bell, Cecily Farmer. 1931, Edward Baldwin again. Yeah, lovely. They're certainly going to reprint all of his, aren't they? Yeah, I think this is another one. Good Food, Ambrose Heath. Yeah, Baldwin again, 1947, a bit later that one. Best Doctor Stories by Rachel Grieve. Jacket by Charles Mosley, 1962. That's nice, isn't it? Man in the rain there. Looks like a London bus in the background. Film as Art, Rudolf Arnheim. 1958, Berthold Wolp again. Herbert Reed, The Philosophy of Modern Art. Berthold Wolp, 1952. It's a nice little title. Gold-rimmed spectacles. Giorgi Bassini. Reprinted by Penguin, this one as Penguin 2020. A little play on 2020 vision. I got a nice copy of the Penguin of this. This is the original hardback. Leonard Rosenman, 1960 in hardback. Yeah, it's lovely that, isn't it? Sci-fi again. Moon of Mutiny by Lester Del Rey. It's a nice jacket. Jacket, 1963, Ed Emshwiller. Never heard of him. Very much of its time, isn't it? Oh, another Ambrose Heath cookbook. I wonder if it's Baldwin again. Good Food Without Meat. Certainly looks like it. Yeah, 1940. Make Hay While the Sun Shines. A book of Proverbs, chosen by Alison M. Abel, illustrated by Shirley Hughes. Great detail on that jacket, isn't there? Absolutely great detail. And 1977, and the jacket was by Shirley Hughes as well. Look at that, fantastic. I like a busy cover, personally, because you'd have something to look at, you'd have something to study, you know? I always remember Paul McCartney saying that, talking about the Beatles covers, how like for Revolver and Sgt. Pepper, they made those really busy covers. And that was because when he would be buying a record, he'd be on the bus back home in the late 1950s, and he'd be all over the record, he'd be looking at it, he'd be reading the sleeve notes. It's the same, I think, with the book Just Jacket. I like a really complicated one, for me anyway. So this is Ted Hughes, Meet My Folks. This is 1961, George Adamson. Here's another classic that was later reprinted by Puffin, The Iron Man, Ted Hughes. Drawings by George Adamson, it looks like. Yes, it is, 1968. Ted Hughes, a great Puffin author. Nessie, the Mannerless Monster, another Ted Hughes. Pictures by Gerald Rose. 1964, that one. Ariel, poems by Sylvia Plath. 1965, Berthold Wolp, quite a vivid one that. but probably not as iconic as this one. The bell jar, absolutely fantastic cover, that one, really, really clever. Jacket by Shirley Tucker. This one was also released in a facsimile, little facsimile hardback that you might want to track down of that absolutely classic book. An English Murder by Cyril Hare. Now that artist looks somewhat familiar. It looks a bit like Artisoni, but I don't know for sure. Oh, it was, yeah. An English Murder, 1951. Jacket by Edward Artisoni. There we are. He did lots for Penguin and Puffin books. I think it's similar again, When My Ship Comes Home. Chris Massey. Yeah, also an Artisoni from 1959. Eleanor Farjell. Over the Garden Wall. (1933). Jacket by Gwen Raveret. Copy from there. So that's about the earliest one we've seen, isn't it? 1933 so far. Grow It and Cook It. Well, that looks almost 70s, doesn't it? When was this? Yeah, 1978. No designer credited on that one. Out of the Pit by J.B. Pick. Miner's story by the look of it. No designer, 1951. Let's put these a bit closer to me. The Affair. Hans Königsberger. 1958, Chris Mosley. Okay, not heard of that one. The English Cookery Book. Is that Lucien Nicole? Nicole. That's 1936. Jacket by Eric Fraser. It's quite a nice detailed one there, isn't it? Moons, Myths and Man. H.S. Bellamy. 1936, Eric Fraser again, the same designer. The Faber Book of 20th Century Verse. John Heath Stubbs and David Wright. Jacket by Burt Wolpe again, 1953. Sort of stinks of the 50s, that, doesn't it, that one? The Golden Hen. Diana Ross. 1942. And the jacket was designed by Diana Ross. Evidently no relation to the singer, I'm guessing. Money and Morals, 2nd edition, by Eric Gill. Pictures by Dennis T.J. Meyer. Money and Morals, 1934, that one. A Place to Live, George Buchanan. It's nice, isn't it? 1952, jacket by Victor Reingainem. The Sun, a Betty. 1957, no designer on that one. Link of Two Hearts by George Sava. Berthold Wolpe, 1946, that one. This is a paperback, so it's Faber paper covered editions, Non-Stop by Brian W. Aldiss. 1958, sci-fi again. James Blish again, Welcome to Mars, another sci-fi one. 1967, Margaret Wolpe. Hot Cuisine, Jean Connell. 1953, Berthold Wolpe. An American Romance, Hans Königsberger. Jacket by Charles Mosley, 1961. That one. An Elderly Retired Man, Kathleen Knott. 1963, jacket by Shirley Tucker. Archery, The Modern Approach, E.G. Heath. Shirley Tucker again, 1966, that one. You could sort of see that on the shelf in a 60s bookshop, couldn't you? The Techniques of Sprang. Plating on Stretched Threads by Peter Collingwood. Wow. Shirley Tucker, 1974, that one. Colmaine, Simon Gray. Shirley Tucker again, 1963. Sylvia Plath, Crossing the Water. 1971 by Shirley Tucker. My Own Master, Adrian Bell. Shirley Tucker again, 1961. The Lost Boy, Alberto Abraniso. Shirley Tucker again, 1970. Thomas Baird, nice try. Shirley Tucker, 1965. David Jones. The Anathemata, 1952, that one. Another one in the same series, by the looks of it, Epoch and Artist. 1959, same author and designer. Walter de la Mare, Behold This Dreamer. It's a nice one, isn't it? 1939, Barnett Friedman. Yeah, it's a lovely jacket, that one. The Motherly and Auspicious, Maurice Collis. Jacket by Barnett Friedman, 1943. Put my little tab up there, there we are. Another Walter de la Mare, Early One Morning. 1935, Barnett Friedman again. Another one by him, Love by Walter de la Mare. 1943, Barnett Friedman, so the same designer. Sci-fi, Stanislaw Lem. Solaris. Gertrude Hermes, 1971. Jumpers, Tom Stoppard. (1972), Berthold Wolp. Is that Sibelius? Yeah, Sibelius. 1959, jacket, Berthold Wolp. Sibelius. Samuel Beckett, play. He wrote a few plays, didn't he? Berthold Wolp, 1964, that one. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, Tom Stoppard. It's another play, isn't it? 1967, Berthold Wolp. Philip Larkin, The North Ship. 1966, Berthold Wolp. Robert Lowell, For the Union Dead. 1965. Stories for Boys, chosen by Anthony Buckeridge. 1957, Berthold Wolp. Oh, we're getting quite near the end now. Devil's Brood, Alfred Duggan. It was 1957, Berthold Wolp again. Melons Under Cloches, Edward Hyams. 1952, Berthold Wolp. The Fine Art of Mixing Drinks, David A. Embury. 1958, Berthold Wolff. Concerning Jazz, edited by Sinclair Trial. Yes. 1957, Berthold Wolff. The Complete Poems and Plays of T.S. Eliot. 1969, Berthold Wolff again. God, he was a busy guy, wasn't he? T.S. Eliot's Collected Poems, 1909 to 1962. Yeah, 1963, Berthold Wolff. And you can see the Faber list is just like this today, isn't it? So you can see where they got a lot of their influences from. I'm pulling up my little tassel there. Touch. Poems by Thomas Gunn. 1967, Berthold Wolff. Classic, Look Back in Anger, John Osborne. 1957, a photo cover there, Berthold Wolff. Waiting for Godot, Samuel Beckett. Another great play. Yeah, 1956, Berthold Wolff. Done loads, hasn't he? Nons, Auden. 52, Guess Who? Wolff. By Adrian Stokes, Smooth and Rough. What's all that about then? 1951, Berthold Wolff. Of course, loads by him. He must have been their top designer. Whistler by James Levere. Barnett Friedman, that did that one in 1930. So it's a bit, the earlier ones I think are better. Some of those early ones are great. Stories for Girls, chosen by Kathleen Lines. 1957, Berthold Wolff. This is nice. The Palm Wine Drinkard by Amos Jutola. 1952, Barnett Friedman. Yeah, that's an interesting jacket, isn't it? I like that one. Yeah, that's really quite interesting. That makes you want to dive in and find out a bit more about what it's about. The Faber Book of Children's Verse. Barnett Friedman again, 1953, that one. Nice, isn't it? The Complete Nonsense of Edward Lear. 1947, Barnett Friedman again. Done a few of his, haven't they? Another James Blish sci-fi, Fallen Star. 1957. Nice, that's one of the better jackets, I think. This is lovely. Inhale and Exhale. Barnett Friedman again, 1936. The 30s ones are really excellent, aren't they? I'm really impressed with those. Ambrose Heath, another one of his cookbooks. Good Dishes from Tinned Food. Jacket by Berthold Wolff. So they didn't use Bolden on that one. You could sort of tell really, couldn't you? O.J. Dory, The Fruit Farm, Its Establishment and Cost. Berthold Wolff, 1949. Corporal Jack by David Scott. 1943. Berthold Wolff. The Film Sense. Eisenstein. 1943. Berthold Wolff. The Laughing Matter, A Serious Story by William Seronian. Berthold Wolff, 1954. The Balcony. Jeanette. Berthold Wolff, 1958. Last few now. So we got Ken Peters, Modern Tape Recording and Hi-Fi. Oh, look at that. Incredible, eh? Is that, yeah, 1967. There's no designer on that. But it's just a great sort of cover, isn't it? Anyone Can Cook, apparently. Muriel Goman. Berthold Wolff, 1952, that one. Cooking from Scratch, Kathleen Larishi. Quite like the way the Faber logo there, or the Faber name, is on the knife. That's quite fun, isn't it? Burt 1951. Last couple now. Ghostly Tales to be Told, edited by Basil Davenport. Ooh. Margaret Wolpe did the jacket, 1952. And then the very last one, The Art of Television by Jan Bussell. And that one, Burt Wolpe again, 1952. So there we are. So I would say perhaps a third of those are absolutely outstanding. About another third I could have lived without. And the other ones are sort of in the middle. But it's still a particularly nice set. That there is some really, really good stuff in there. And there's not many other publishers that have bothered to even do that beyond Penguin themselves. So if you have enjoyed looking through that, I will put a link so you can buy this, because it's still in print. You can buy your own copy of this box set from Amazon or eBay, and I'll put the links in the description down below. If you have enjoyed this video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do consider subscribing for some regular book-related content. I cover lots of vintage paperbacks, obviously lots of vintage Penguin books, but I do also cover the odd modern thing as well. If you have enjoyed today's video, thanks very much, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.